After the break, the hunt for 3 suspects after the murder of a 10-year-old girl in Woking. Police say they may have left the country. Tonight, police launch a manhunt after the murder of a 10-year-old girl in Surrey. Officers confirm 3 people are on the run and may have already left the country as mystery surrounds how and why such a young life was taken.
And how are your family feeling at hearing all this?
I have 4 kids. They're very, very sad and very scared what's happening in our area.
Also ahead, star striker heads to Germany as his boss confirms his multi-million-pound move is imminent. Fears the underdogs could put an end to the Lionesses' World Cup dreams, and a dance to remember, the beautiful video of a man and his wife making lasting memories at a South London hospice. Good evening. She was just 10 years old and found dead in a house in Woking during the early hours of yesterday morning. But what happened to a young girl at the property on Hammond Road isn't yet clear. What we do know is that officers are searching for 3 people in connection with what they're describing as a devastating incident. But tonight, officers fear the suspects may have already left the country. Helen Keenan reports.
A tribute from one little girl to another. Flowers for the 10-year-old whose body was found in this house in Woking. Police tape surrounds the home officers were called to just before 3 a.m. on Thursday, following a call raising concern for the girl's safety. One family were awake for morning prayers when they saw the police across the road.
The ambulance came here 7 o'clock, and then the police taken out the little girl. That's on we saw, and we don't. That's a no.
And how are your family feeling at hearing all this?
I have 4 kids. They're very, very sad and very scared.
Now fears are growing that the people detectives want to speak to in connection with her murder may have fled the country. In a statement, Surrey police have said, "We have identified 3 people we would like to speak to in connection with our investigation, and from our inquiries, we believe that they left the country on Wednesday the 9th of August. We are working with our partners, including international authorities, to locate them." We understand it is a British Pakistani family who live in the house with 6 young children, and they had only moved in a few months ago.
They moved into a house that had been done up really well by the council, and yet this happens.
You hear the news of a 10-year-old child.
Yes, I don't know obviously the ins and outs, what's happened, how it happened, don't know any of that. But
it's just a shock.
It is a shock. Yeah, I say it doesn't happen around here.
All day neighbours have been arriving here to lay flowers and pay tribute to the little girl who has lost her life. One neighbour told me that she wanted to come down and pay her respects because she believes that her children may have attended the same school. Another neighbour told me that the whole community is simply traumatised. Among the tributes, one note left said, "So sorry this has happened. Such a tragedy. Rest in peace, lovely girl." There is a heavy police presence in the area, which is expected to remain over the coming days. No arrests have been made yet. Still, people arrive to pay their respects as they wait for any further news on what caused such tragedy. Helen Keenan, ITV News.
Next, it's one of the worst-kept secrets in football, but tonight it appears the multi-million-pound Harry Kane deal is on. Today, the Spurs boss confirmed his move to Bayern Munich is imminent, and right now it's reported he's making his way to the airport to have his medical with the German side. With the latest is Antoine Allen.
Here's Kane to punish them!
Tottenham Hotspur's star striker is shooting up.
He's got forced in by Kane!
Harry Kane is reportedly undergoing a medical with German side Bayern Munich. Spurs' new manager Ange Postecoglou spoke to Harry weeks ago about his future. The Australian says he wasn't surprised by today's news.
I had a conversation with Harry the first day I arrived, and he was upfront and honest, and I was the same. And you kind of get an indication there that he kind of made up his mind that if the clubs agreed that he would go.
In 2004, Kane signed to Tottenham's youth academy. Since breaking into the first team, he's scored 280 goals.
You can't stop it, it's brilliant.
And has won the Player of the Season award 4 times. But even the North London club's most prolific striker could not win a trophy during his time within the club. Opposite White Hart Lane is a church. Some Spurs fans were praying Kane might change his mind and stay. Or they hope their club can find a new star man.
I feel good for him, but I think he should stay for a few more seasons.
His goal-scoring ability, I'm sure. It doesn't matter whether it's his foot or his shin or his knee. He always finds a way to put the ball on the back of the net.
I think we should use Richarlison first, and then maybe buy some centre-backs. Start with the defence, and then just hope Richarlison will, maybe bag 20 goals.
The Premier League season starts today. Tottenham's first game is a London derby against Brentford on Sunday, leaving little time for fans to prepare for life without Harry Kane.
Tottenham without Kane is like cereal without milk. It's like no salt on your chips. It's going to take some getting used to, but I got to thank him for everything. Like, he's one of the best strikers in the world without a trophy to his name, and that is a bigger feat than Shaquille O'Neal. So Harry Kane, I just want to say I wish you the best, and Tottenham need to reinforce.
The transfer window closes on the 31st of August. If Tottenham are to replace Kane, they need to beat the deadline. Spurs have a newish stadium and a brand new manager, whereas Harry Kane is a reminder of the past for a club that's heavily investing in its future. But it's not easy to replace a prolific striker such as Kane. Fans that I've spoken to want to know how that reported €100 million will be spent. This friendly is probably Kane's last appearance for Spurs. But England fans can rejoice that as a Bayern Munich player, Kane will most likely become accustomed to winning trophies. Antoine Allen, ITV News.
Other news now, and a cyclist has been killed on Battersea Bridge in a collision involving a lorry. Police were called just before 8 o'clock yesterday morning. They found a 27-year-old woman who was pronounced dead at the scene. Officers say the lorry driver didn't stop after the accident, but they made contact with him afterwards. He hasn't been arrested and inquiries continue. Police in Stoke Newington have launched an urgent investigation after a man was shot in broad daylight. Officers were called to the High Street just after 3 o'clock this afternoon. The extent of the victim's injuries are unknown. And a coroner will open an inquest into the death of Met Police Sergeant Matt Ratner over outstanding matters that were not covered at the criminal trial. The coroner says they want to consider the actions of officers and any missed opportunities to prevent Sergeant Ratner's death. A mother from Essex whose daughter has leukemia says she was shocked to lose her job of 19 years simply because she had to look after her child. Christina Harris has had to become a full-time carer for her daughter, who's 11, while she has years of cancer treatment. She says parents shouldn't have to lose their jobs while they're facing the possibility of losing their child. Abigail Bracken has been to Southend to meet her.
Sky Harris loves to cook at home when she's well enough to leave the hospital where she spent much of the last 18 months. Her mother, a constant companion while she has years of chemotherapy. Their family life turned upside down since Sky's diagnosis in 2021.
It was a complete shock. I had no idea she was seriously ill at all. It was just, I was absolutely, my world just shattered. I had to get my head around starting to give her medicine all day, every day, which was really overwhelming. But you know, you get the hang of it. You just suddenly it changes your world completely, and you just deal with it. You're just on pilot mode, and you do anything you can to save your child's life.
It's been awful for you as a family. How's Sky coped?
She's literally been a superstar. She's not complained once during this whole process. She just do whatever they tell her she needs to do. She takes all the medicine you know, with a smile on her face. She actually really likes being in hospital, bless her, so it makes it all a bit easier.
And she's currently being treated in Southend Hospital for an infection. And it's these constant hospital stays, the need to isolate, and medicines round the clock that means it's impossible for her mother to work. Her employer of 19 years kept her job open for 1 year, but no longer.
I was quite angry and upset, and I think after that, once I processed it all, I started to really worry about my family's financial future as well, which is just really stressful when you're already in this awful situation.
A stress she wants others to avoid. So she started a petition that has already reached 36,000 signatures, asking for a law to make employers give special breaks for parents with a seriously ill child so they can return to their jobs afterwards.
The government has told us that it understands the difficulties that the parents of seriously ill children face, but says it is not practical to provide a specific right to take time away from work to cover every challenging situation an employee may face.
And for Sky, that challenge is another 7 months of chemotherapy. For her mother, it means worrying about money and finding a new job while looking after her sick child. Abigail Bracken, ITV News, Southend.
Well, still to come, we have the weekend weather forecast, plus will they roar? The Lionesses prepare for their quarter-final match at the World Cup. And
It's like, I know you're there, but I don't want to know.
from Doctor Who to the spotlight on stage, Freema Agyeman will be here to tell us all about her leading role in an award-winning show. But first, we've heard what most of the candidates hoping to become London's next mayor think about the expansion of ULEZ. And as we've seen, it's become a divisive and political subject ever since the Conservatives won the by-election in Uxbridge. Well, today it was the Lib Dems' turn to paint their future vision for the capital as the party announced who'll represent them in the race for City Hall next year. Mahathir Pasha reports.
Cheers and applause at London's Bankside today as the Liberal Democrats announced their candidate for London Mayor. In a battle between two relatively unknown faces, the Lib Dem London membership opted to back tech consultant and businessman Rob Blackie.
I'm delighted, absolutely excited to get going, to show that there's a better option for London, there's a Liberal option for the Mayor.
What's your unique selling point? What makes you special?
Well, I've run bold Liberal campaigns my whole life, and so I'm used to getting attention. I'm used to doing stuff that's a bit fun and different, and I'm not scared of a big challenge.
The once advisor to former Lib Dem leader Charles Kennedy might have been receiving some attention today, but how well do Londoners know him?
Have you ever seen this man?
I haven't, brother.
Do you know who that is?
No.
His name's Rob Blackie.
Okay.
But that's him, basically.
Who is he?
His name's Rob Blackie.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of somebody called Rob Blackie?
No.
The sun might be shining on the River Thames today, but the mayoral prospects for the Lib Dems are unlikely to be as bright. The Liberal Democrats have finished 4th in the past 3 London mayoral elections. In the past 4 elections, they've failed to secure 5% of the vote, losing the mandatory £10,000 deposit required to enter each time. What is the point of the Liberal Democrats competing in this race this time around?
Oh, there's a huge importance for Liberal Democrats and our values to be represented at the ballot box. And this time I think we are in a different place. You know, Liberal Democrats are 3rd in polling in London. We have just won some amazing by-elections across the country.
So, where does the new candidate stand on one of the most polarising policies in London at the moment, ULEZ?
We can only be successful if environmentalism is for everybody, not just the people who can afford a Tesla. And that means we have to take people with us. In inner London, the ULEZ has been quite successful because public transport is much better, but also we gave people 3 years to adapt. There just needs to be a pause so that people have time to adapt. You'll say hello to the camera?
So, not as dogged as Labour to push through ULEZ, nor as opposed to the policy as the Conservatives. Might a middle ground on this contentious topic be the answer? We'll find out on May the 2nd next year when Londoners take to the ballot. Mahathir Pasha, ITV News.
Right, a big weekend ahead for the Lionesses and Anthony Joshua. Let's get the details now in the sport.
Zero Accounting Software sponsors ITV Regional Sports Report.
Well, excitement's building ahead of the Lionesses' big quarter-final match against underdogs Colombia at the World Cup tomorrow. All eyes this week have, of course, been on Lauren James after her hopes of playing were dashed following her two-match ban. With all the build-up, here's Daniel Henry.
I say 3-1.
Colombians in the capital are confident.
Who's scoring? Well, yeah, the winger, yeah, Caicedo's definitely banging in one. And then the other one will be the right winger.
They know England's last game was a close shave.
10 women against Nigeria, they got a result, didn't they?
So they're ready for a good old scrap.
I reckon the girls are going to dance on these girls, you know, bro. They look a bit stiff compared to the Colombian girls. You saw that touch for that goal, that goal, that was a serious goal. And that back stick with a header in that, both teams look good. Both have been scoring some nice goals. Some big goals. Yeah, but the Colombia look better.
England's boss says her side are preparing to progress. But they'll have to do it without Lauren James, who's suspended for stamping on an opponent.
Well, of course, we have a squad of 23. We know how we want to fill in that position. So it's just a team effort. And we support each other and we fill in places that come free.
Obviously, what she did was wrong, and she knows it was wrong, and she apologised for it publicly. And now she faces the consequences of those. And as a team, we stick together.
England's run in the tournament has got these girls dreaming. They usually play on the same team, but for 90 minutes on Saturday, they'll put all that aside.
Colombia! England! I think Colombia's going to win because they have the better defence, and we have players that also play for Real Madrid and Colombia. They're challenging, but not that hard to get for England. But still, anything could happen.
She's right. Not long now until the talking stops. Daniel Henry, ITV News.
Watford's Anthony Joshua says he's focused on beating Finland's Robert Helenius tomorrow night at London's O2 Arena. The Finn is a last-minute replacement for Joshua's longtime rival Dillian Wright, as the Londoner had to pull out due to a failed drugs test. Joshua's promoter Eddie Hearn says the former world champion is in the best shape of his life, and Anthony told ITV News London he hopes to live up to that assessment.
He's got so much going on in his life, he can't always look back to the time I was probably in better shape, for example, but what he's seen now is just a young guy working extremely hard to perform on Saturday night, and he's impressed. So yeah, he's talking it up, he's giving me the credit, giving me the props, and I hope I can go and live up to his view of what hard work is.
Right now, my guest tonight made her name as the Doctor's companion in the TV series Doctor Who.
I'm sorry, there's no heartbeat. There's nothing. He's dead.
Oh, it's me! It's all right, just breathe deep, I've got you.
Captain Jack Harkness. And who are you?
Martha Jones.
Well, now actor Freema Agyeman has decided to return to the stage. She'll star in the Tony and Olivier-winning dark comedy God of Carnage in Hammersmith, and I'm delighted to say she joins me now. Thanks so much for coming in. So, you're going back to the stage. Have you done the theatre before, or is this the first time for you?
I did do a theatre show 6 years ago, so it's been a minute, and I kind of felt like, you know, when I think about getting on the stage, I get sweaty palms and butterflies. So I thought that's exactly the reason why I should get back on the stage, so I can challenge myself. And then you grow, I think, when you start to diversify within your craft. And that's what I want to keep doing.
Amazing. And this is a dark comedy. So what's dark about it? Tell us the story.
It is dark comedy by the French playwright Yasmina Reza. And it's about two sets of parents who meet up to calmly discuss the fact that one child has hit the other couple's child in the mouth with a stick and broken 2 of his teeth. And so they just want to discuss that, and it descends into some kind of madness where they behave worse than the children. And it's such a sharp, witty commentary on society, actually, and it's kind of lifting the lid on perceived civility, insofar as we get a peek behind the veneer of what social normality and respectability is supposed to look like.
Right.
So we can laugh at that, but then it's quite a damning examination of social pretense and moral emptiness. So we are laughing at pretty dark, sad, vile things, but we can laugh, A, because the writing's so brilliant, but B, these characters are such... they're such self-righteous hypocrites, and they're so ridiculous that they are laughable.
Sounds really deep, actually. Of course, you've done comedy before with Dreamland, haven't you, with Lily Allen? Is this your new love?
Yeah, do you know, I think I might stay in the world of dark comedy for a little bit, because you do get to get your teeth in, but I am actually... I mean, when I had my meeting for this, meeting the director, Nikolai Labari, who's also the associate director at The Lyric, which is an incredible space, I have to say, at the Lyric Hammersmith. He was just so enthusiastic and so engaged and so engaging that it did actually remind me, other than wanting to challenge myself, why I'm doing this. So joyful play and telling stories is such a wonderful part of this business, and I think comedy enables me to do that, and to do it somewhere like the Lyric that is so committed to the community. I'm stunned walking in there, how open the door is and how they're making theatre accessible. Ticket prices are starting at £10, and they have it's a first free night scheme. It's funded by Hammersmith and Fulham Council, where if you live in the borough or you work in the borough, you can get a pair of tickets free to see any show on its first night. And we're on our first night's the 1st of September, so, you know, get on the website, and theatre doesn't get more accessible than that.
That's brilliant, amazing, and it must be great to be back in London, and it's lovely to have you in. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, my dear.
Now, a reminder of our main headline in London. A manhunt is underway after the murder of a 10-year-old girl in Surrey. The body of a 10-year-old was discovered at the house in Woking during the early hours of yesterday morning. Officers are looking for 3 people who they say may have already left the country. Well, we're all hoping for some good weather over the weekend. Let's find out what's in store with James Wright.
Whatever the weather, it always feels like home. Vaillant Heat Pumps and Boilers sponsor ITV London Weekend Weather.
Hi there, good evening. The weekend upon us, and it's set to be a repeat of the last 5 weekends. We've got low pressure once again to the northwest of us. Plenty of showers wrapped around that, and then as we go into the new working week, this little feature creeps up inside that low. That's set to bring us a bit of a soaker. If there is an upside, there is a ridge of high pressure out to the west of us, and hopefully that will settle things down for a little while from Tuesday. As far as this evening goes, well, we've had quite a lot of cloud today. We've been near a front. That's pushing away. We end up with plenty of clear spells overnight. Again, it's going to be a bit of a muggy, humid one. Temperatures slowly drifting down to about 14 or 15 Celsius, eventually starting to see some slightly cooler, fresher air by the end of the night. So tomorrow morning, plenty of sunny spells around, a nice bright start to the weekend. Problem is that sunshine gets going on the ground. There's quite a lot of moisture there, and that helps to trigger off quite a few showers. I think the heaviest ones are probably going to skirt to the north of us, but I think there's a fair chance of getting wet at some point during the day. Don't get too caught up on exactly where these showers are. None of the showers should last too long. It's going to be a bit of a breezy day through tomorrow. It's also going to be a cooler, fresher one. Temperatures much closer to average with highs of 22 or 23. Sunday, same low pressure system, same risk of showers, but hopefully once again they'll be further north, highs of 22. Here comes that little feature for Monday. Difficult to say exactly where the wet weather is going to be at this point, but certainly a chance of getting wet. And as we head to Tuesday, things get a little bit warmer, a little bit more in the way of high pressure and far fewer showers.
Vaillant Heat Pumps and Boilers sponsor ITV London Weekend Weather.
Finally tonight, when 88-year-old Eddie Robinan was told he only had 6 months left to live, he knew he needed to make the most of his remaining time with his wife Rita. He was moved to a hospice in Sydenham with stomach cancer, but was adamant that wasn't going to stop him from making more lasting memories. And one of them, which was filmed at the hospice, has since captured the hearts of people online. as Sally Williams reports.
Rita and Eddie have taken many steps together over the years, but these might just be their most special. Their love and their sense of humour are as strong as ever.
Rita, do you think Eddie would do all right on Strictly Come Dancing?
I don't see why not. Why not, Ed? A different partner, but no, you will.
Different partner, you were grand, Rita.
The former soldier, Eddie, is currently at St Mary's Care Home in Streatham, where he's receiving palliative care for bowel cancer. But the plan for the dance was cooked up with the nurses at St Christopher's Hospice in Sydenham.
Tell her what to do, Eddie. You need to tell me.
She's doing all right.
Oh, okay.
It's lovely. I was leading Eddie on the Sarah Steady while Leonore danced, and it was so lovely.
Oh.
And it was so lovely, and we said, OK, the next dance will be with Rita.
On the day, Rita was greeted with roses.
Oh, Eddie, you pulled out all the stops.
He really did, darling, he really did.
That's so lovely.
It was a wonderful day, wasn't it, Eddie? Everyone clapped.
Oh, it was.
And then the dance itself began.
Will that go down as one of your most precious memories?
Precious memories.
Yeah.
What did you like about it best?
Being able to do something that we wanted to do.
And witnessing this precious bit of history were their family.
The grandchildren.
Yeah.
How many grandchildren have you got, Eddie?
6.
Oh, are they the light of your life?
Oh, yeah.
That and Rita dancing.
That's the best thing.
It was a pretty poignant moment for his nurse too.
You've just graduated as a nurse. This is your second career.
Yes.
Have you picked the right path?
Absolutely, yes.
Was that the icing on the cake?
Yeah, it was the icing on the cake.
Have you got more dances in you then, Eddie?
I think so.
Good for you. There you go, Rita.
Yeah.
You can't rest
made
yet.
my day.
You've got more to come.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think so.
yes.
The lovely Eddie and Rita. Well, that's it from us. The ITV News at 6:30 is up next with Kylie Pentelow. But for now, from all of us on the London team, have a great evening. Bye-bye.